Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to True Telos Trading. Today is December 9th, 2025. This morning is a no trade morning. It's one of the first one. Well, not the first one. We haven't had a no trade day in a long time. So why do we have a no trade day today? Well, to put it simply, no stock that we saw in the market this morning matched our True Telos trading grading scale to where we would want to actually risk our money getting in and getting out of it. There were a lot of stocks. As a matter of fact, today was a pretty scary. It was a pretty scary morning, and we'll get into the chart here in a second, and I'll let you know why it was a scary morning. But we're starting to see a lot of these stocks with great news that we would see in the past, and it would go parabolic. Now it's baiting everyone in and flushing everyone down super hard. Let's go ahead and get into the charts to see what stocks I'm talking about this morning. We'll start off by looking at one of the stocks that kind of scared me this morning. We're looking at the 1 minute chart for MBRX. This stock came out with news this morning. Nothing super special. An update to one of their studies that they have in progress. It did match my True Telos trading grading scale. As a matter of fact, it had reached new all-time highs today, with it getting over the last previous high of 789, went all the way up to 10 here. So we were expecting, this thing to keep on going. There is no price above this, so it's all clear skies for it to go up as high as it wants to. And just based off of good news, that's something that I was expecting. But we got a little 2 minute extension and then a double top up there at the new all-time high on this stock. And I don't mean all-time high according to True Telos trading grading scale. I mean all-time high according to this stock. It double topped at that 1022 and immediately came back down below where it had started before. So we're seeing these pop-ups and then massive drops, massive retracements. This isn't the only one. We had another stock, ENSC, that did pretty much the exact same thing. This stock was not at all-time highs, but it did have a news catalyst about it moving to the next phase. It's a biomedical company moving to the next phase of whatever trial that it's on. It made a big spike right here, attempted to come back up to that same resistance and then immediately drop back down below the price that it had before it made that big move. And this is like just kind of telling me that today isn't the best day to be trading in these markets at all. It's not the best morning because it's looking like a lot of things are beginning to sell off. Again, we are trying to stick to that theme where we see these stocks with super low floats and see them popping up. But we didn't see any of those this morning. As a matter of fact, I woke up at 3 a.m. this morning to see if anything would happen. I've been up since 3, and this is a no trade day. This is actually one of those days where sitting and being patient paid off. If I would have got into any of these stocks that I showed you so far, we would have had a bad day. And not only that, I didn't get into these stocks because if you look up here, look at the volume that is showing. It's very inconsistent. Something that's I want to see that volume up here, that 1,400, or was it 114,000? If that would have been the same volume that we was seeing all the way across here, this thing probably would have went parabolic. But because we were seeing these low volume candles, it made this big spike off a low volume, and then all these people getting into the stock for the perceived push higher. That's why we see this big spike here off of 18,000 shares, and then people thinking that it's going to keep on going higher. People are buying and buying and buying, and all of a sudden this thing flushes down. It flushes down considerably, and they're forced to sell their position. Somebody made a pretty good penny off of this move. And let's get back to the one that we looked at previously, that MBRX, and see if it was about the same thing. So this thing pops up 80 pops up off of 5,000, 80,000, and then right when it gets back to the top there, that double top, it flushes down here and forces people to sell. That's why we see that volume of 206,000 shares. People trying to get out of this stock before they blow their accounts. And that's exactly what we see coming all the way back down below. So it wasn't a great day to keep trading. I can keep going on some of these stocks that were doing the exact same thing. Let's look at VOR. We were attempting to look at this stock this morning. Oop, God, I might as well get rid of that. I don't know where that was. So we were looking at this stock this morning as well. So why didn't we trade VOR? I do believe VOR had a higher float than what we would normally trade. It also had news this morning. Let's see. What was the news on this stock? Was it anything worthwhile? Because I was looking at it for a minute. This is at 3 a.m. this morning. We saw this stock moving off volume. I would like to see volume at 3 a.m. be in excess of 50,000 shares. It's not a lot of shares, period. But in the morning at 3 a.m. when the market's just opening, was it 30 to 50,000 shares on 1 minute candles with the thing moving, and I only got 10. And with it having no news in that morning time, other than J.P. Morgan initiates coverage announcing the share price at was it $43, and that just made that's not prominent news at all. We see that all the time with banks speculating the future prices of stocks, and that's not something that we see. I marked off the resistance points. This right here was a support that I saw off of this stock, with this being the next resistance point, and it went straight up to that resistance point, but I did not trade that at the in the AM because it's not the setup that I'm looking for at that time. I'm looking for something that's going to go parabolic with a super low float, and with this stock having 20 million shares, that's definitely not the low float I'm looking for at 3 a.m. And as we came into like 5 o'clock, again, we have very, very, very little volume coming into the stock. One of the main reasons why I did not trade this stock this morning. Let's go ahead and look at one more. This all kind of sealed the deal. PBM. This is the one that I was telling us about, where it had uh, a good news catalyst, or was it? Let's see. One of these stocks had a great news catalyst that this one right here. Let's go and see where we thought we were going to get into a trade, but we didn't. Or maybe we weren't at all. Let's see. This stock had news of a private placement, and immediately after that news, it just tanked. It just tanked. Private placements or something that I can't even find. Look, this was a terrible, terrible stock. I think it was close to here, close to the open. We had news of a private placement right here. Jump up, just a small bit of volume. Look at that, 18 shares. Wow. Private placement news and completely tank. Absolutely atrocious, something that we were not looking to see at all. And this was, like I said, it was kind of a scary day. The things that we would normally see popping up and going, at least 70, 80 to 100%, they are popping up to about maybe 30%, given buyers that false breakout, and then dropping dropping considerably, making everyone cover and for a loss. So that's what we saw today. This is why we didn't trade any stocks today. What we have been seeing are those stocks with that super low float in the afternoon, in the after hours session. I think this happened Friday and yesterday. Let's go to that stock that made that big move yesterday evening. Let me find it for us. CETX, I do believe that was the stock. Let's go back and see. This stock made a pretty big move in the after hour or early morning after hour yesterday. Oh, actually, this was the one that I missed in the morning yesterday because I had already traded that morning. CETX, it went from a low of about $7 all the way up here to 20, and I believe I traded a stock that was very similar to this, but this one was the one that made that move. We had a stock that made a big move after hours yesterday. What was the name of that stock? Let me see if I can find it for us. Did I find it for us? Let's see. Yes, this was the stock right here, ATMC. So it had a news catalyst, but you see it started moving before the news actually came out. So this stock went from a low of $18 all the way up here to 18 to 100. So this stock also has a very low float. The float on this stock is 14 or 417,000 shares. And this was in the afternoon. So in the early morning and in the afternoon times when we are seeing these stocks with these very low floats make these huge moves. So that's going to be, we're probably going to have a two video day because I'm going to see if we see the same thing happening this afternoon. So I get off of work about maybe close to 3:30, 4 o'clock. We're going to be dialed in to see if we see the same type of movement that we are seeing in the market now. And if we do, we're going to attempt to capitalize off of it. So this may be a two video day, but for now, it is definitely a no trade day. We're going to be sticking to our principles, doing what we have to do to ensure that we are mitigating risk on the account and maximizing profits. And that includes trying to figure out what this theme in the market is and seeing if we can capitalize off any type of volatile movement that we are seeing. If you enjoy this content, please do not be afraid to like and subscribe. If you have any questions for me, please don't be afraid to ask. As always, I am an open book when it comes to everything. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed this playback of today's No Trade Day, and I will see you all tomorrow and probably later on today. Have a good rest of your day.